Hey, how's it going, guys? So, someone asked, how do you create a door and have it animated upon interaction? Now, I'm not using the scraps to do this, and I'm sorry if you hear my dog in the background. So right here, I'm going to show you how to animate a bifolding door. I'm also going to show you how to animate a trifold door. And I'm actually going to go one step further and show you how to animate a regular door. I'm going to pull the Pro Builder window back up so this way you can see this. Click right here. Come on. There we go. And right about there. Now I no longer need this window. So this one's just going to open up regularly, or actually I do need the window real quick. Tools, here we go. And the reason why I need this, because I actually need to select these. Oops, wrong button. Come on. There we go. So I'm just going to select that, and on the Pro Builder window, I'm actually going to click Set Pivot. So each time you see that change, I'm selecting those certain faces. That's what I'm doing. I'm just setting the pivot. This is actually a very important step. And the reason why, because we're using these pivots for our animator. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And I'm just setting the pivots in the same places for all of them. I don't know if I'm going to be able to... Hey, I can. Awesome. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to click on Set Pivot on... Or actually, that won't work because that's going to be setting... Will it? Pivot set right there. Let me double check all of these. Those look good. That looks good, and that looks good. Alright, awesome. Now I can close out this window. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new C# script. I'm not going to do it in this folder. I'm going to actually right-click here, or actually I have tutorial right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to not show and explore like I just did. I'm actually going to create a new C# script. This is going to be called door... I don't want to call it door open. And by the way, whenever you do these, you're going to actually do your initials, underscore, and then the name of your script. So in this case, I'm just going to call this door interact. I also need to disable this text. So let's wait for that to finish compiling. I'm going to disable this text. This text is what's going to pop up, and it'll just say press E to interact. So I'm going to disable that. I'm going to click on Ethan. I've already edited the script, so all I need to do is just bring the text in here. You won't have to do this for scraps, obviously. So from here is what I want to do is I actually want to go ahead and create an animation clip for this. Because what we're going to call this is door closed. And this will be called reg. Save. And I just want to actually get the rotation of this. So that's done. And I can select both of these. And this will be called door closed by. Now this one I'll need both the rotation and I will need the transform components. And finally, this one will create door closed try. Save. And once again, I'm going to need both the rotation and position. And the reason why I need the position and rotation, because when these open, I also want to slide in like that. So I guess I'll go ahead and start animating this one real fast, which will actually be fairly simple. So let's go ahead and create a new clip. It's called door opening try. And is what I want to do is right here. Huh. Oh, that's why. You little bastard. Oh, that's because it never... Okay. So actually, I need to go back into the project. I need to select all of these. I need to delete. One thing I forgot to do is for these, I need to actually drag these underneath the door frame. And so we're going to call this one door try. And then we have these right here. So we got those and we got that. So I can just take these and slide them up here. This will be called door by. And finally, we have this one right here, which will go in here, and this one will just be called door reg. So now I have all of these. I can actually start animating them. So let's go ahead and create a new clip, and like I said, this one will be called door closed reg. If you're wondering, I hit Control A to highlight door closed, and I just press Control C. And the reason why I did that, because then I can come up here, Control V, try. Then I can come up here, Control V, by. And there we go. So I'm actually going to start with the tri-folding door. We're actually going to name this Seg 1, Seg 3, Seg 2. This way I know which segment I'm working with. And we're going to do the same thing with this one. So this one is Seg 2. And this one right here will be called Seg 1. This one I don't need to name it because I already know it's the main door. So we're going to work with this. What we need to do is we actually need to add the position and rotation just like we did earlier. So we don't need it of the tri-door, we actually need it of these segments. There we go. Position, Seg 1, and rotation. And then we're going to do Seg 2, position, rotation. This is actually Seg 3, and the only reason why it's like that because that's the way it is up here. But it's still going to be the same thing where we're doing the position and rotation. So, sorry if I confused you on that. So this is the close state. I'm actually going to highlight all of these. We don't need these back here because this is just a close state. So I'm going to select all of these. I'm going to hold down Control and press C. And so what we're going to do is we're going to create a new clip. We're going to say door opening. I'm going to hit Control A, Control C, and we'll call this try. Save. I'm going to press Control V. So this already has all the segments in it. And literally all I need to do is hit this record button. I'm going to move this to about the 1 second mark. Anything past that I think is just absurd. And so I'm going to have this come here. This one is actually going to come over here. And it's going to come back here. Like so. There we go. And then this one, oops. Let's go back into here. Okay, that's looking good so far. So let's hit back on the record button. Now, why is it doing that? Really? Okay, well that's interesting. So, what we'll do is we'll actually delete these. Yeah, because that's Seg 3. So why is it... Go ahead and add the... No, it's got the scale in there. Why is it doing that? That makes no sense. Oh, you gotta love Unity. So, is what's going on for some odd reason? Let me go into transform. Let me go ahead and add the position of this one real quick. Okay. That absolutely makes no sense. So what should be going on is with Seg 3, we should be able to have this added. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to click back on this. I'm going to delete all of these. I'm going to go into here. I'm going to delete those as well. I'm going to move these into position. I'm actually going to duplicate this real fast. And then I'll click on this. We have 1, position. Or actually, we don't even need position. We really just need rotation for the first one. Let me go ahead and add position anyway, so this way we can make it look good. And I'm going to come here to seg 1. I'm going to add the rotation. I'm going to come back here to seg 2. I'm going to add position and rotation. Now I'm going to come into here, seg 3. I'm going to add position. Then I'm going to add rotation. So now if I click on this, that one selects, and that one does not. What is going on here? So that is okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to duplicate this since it's giving me issues. I'm going to hold down V on the keyboard. I'm just going to snap this one into place. I'm going to delete seg 3 off of there. I'm going to change this naming convention to seg 3. And I'm just going to move that just a little bit. There we go. And in one of my previous videos I told you never scale these, but because it's such a small amount, it should be okay. Okay, so for... Wait, what? Okay, this really makes no sense. For some odd reason... Let me just add position on this real quick. Okay, good. Now it's working. So let's add a property, seg 3, and we're going to do rotation. And so there we go. Now these are all working. I don't know what that was about or why it was doing that. This is for closed. Once before, like I said, you don't need this because it's actually in the closed state. But we will select all of these. We're going to hold down Control and press C on the keyboard. We're going to go to the opening state and we're going to press V. Once again, we're going to hit record. We'll go to 1 second. So I'm actually going to have this open like so. I don't want it to be super straight. But one thing I want to do is actually move this to right about here. So this way it looks like it's actually part of that. Then from here I'm going to move it where it has just a slight V shape to it. I'm going to move it right here. And then this one I'm going to rotate like this. And I'm just going to move it right about here. And so now this is what we get. And I don't know if Ethan's going to be able to fit in there or not. If not, that's okay. Just make sure you make this wide enough. The other option you have is if you hit record, we can just come in here. I'm going to do it with this one. We'll make this one like this. And then we'll slide this one into position like so, just to make sure that he'll be able to fit. And then we'll come in with this one, move this one right about there. Then we'll rotate that right in here. And Ethan should fit in there. If not, you just have to make the door a little thinner. No big deal. Just make sure you're not animating. And of course you have to go back in and reanimate your points, but that's not a big deal. We're going to want the open state, so I'm actually just going to select these at the end, so this way it's in its open state. I'm going to hold down Control-C. I'm going to create a new clip, and this one will just be called Open Try. Control-V. Now, I'm not even going to animate the closing. The reason why, because I'm going to come here to Opening. I'm actually going to select both of these sets. I'm going to hold down Control-C. And then we'll come in here, door closing try. I'm just going to hold down Control and press V this time. So is what this does for me. I know that the end is at 1 second. I can literally just take these, drag these to the front. I'll select the top diamond up here, drag these to 1 second, come back over here and finish dragging these to 0. And so now whenever the animation starts and you press E to close it, this is what you'll get. So that's a way of doing that very, very quickly. I'm actually going to animate these two doors, so if you want to fast forward, you're more than welcome to. If you want to see how I do this, that's fine. This worries me already. So let me go into seg 1, transform, position, seg 2, transform, position. Yeah, so we're actually getting the same problem with this. I'm actually going to delete that off of there. I'm going to delete seg2. I'm just going to move these into right about here. That should be good. So now I can come in here. I'm going to rename this seg2. And now that I have the door selected, let's go back in here. Seg1, we still need the rotation. And then seg2 will need both rotation and position. Okay, there we go. So I told you I don't need these. Control C. And door opening by. Save. Control V, because that's the state it starts in. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, good. It had me worried. So, you can set this up where both the doors swing open. I like that idea, but then I don't. So, we're going to do something unique with this one. Let me move this one right up. Let me go ahead and move it right about here. There we go. And then this part right here is what I want to do, is rotate it all the way around like so. I'm going to move it right here. So it's going to do that. I'm going to move this to 40 seconds so I can keep that right there. I'm going to move this to 30 seconds. Move this right here. Move this to 20 seconds. Move it right here. Move this to 10 seconds. That looks good, so there we go. Okie dokie. Now, I'm going to show you how to do these interval points, because that is a little tedious. If you're still watching, awesome. You're about to see something really cool. But I'm just going to say door open by. Save. Control V. And then I'm going to go into door opening. Once again, I'm going to select all of these, Control C. I'm going to go to create new clip, door closing by, and I'm going to paste all those values in. Now I'm still going to do this part the exact same, because these are our primary values that we need to work with. However, when I come here, you're going to be like, well, wait a minute, what is going on here? Well, the reason why, because it's using the first and last dates, but it's still animating everything in between. Theoretically, I should just be able to swap these two, because it's a linear transform, and there we go. So, that is done. Finally, the last one. Let's go ahead and add the property. Cube 7, which would actually be the door, and all we need is just the rotation of it. Go figure. Okay. So I'm actually going to you know what? We don't even need that. So for the regular, I can go ahead and delete this. Delete. Door closed reg. I can delete that. And I can actually just do it off of this. So that one should be fine. Door closed. I'm not going to do anything special. This will be the rotation. And then I'm going to go into create new clip. Door opening. And then I'm going to rotate it out. There we go. Go to 1 second, record. There we go. I'm going to select both of these, Control C. Let's go into create new clip. Door open. And I'm actually just going to move this down to 0. Create new clip. Door closing. And just like the trifolding, I'm just swapping these around. So nothing too fancy. There we go. Awesome. Alright. So now that we have done that, okay, screw you too. I was going to save it, but meh. Okie dokie. So now that we've done that, all of our doors are now animated. However, we still need to go into the animator and set this up. So I like to set mine up as a diamond. And I'm just going to click on Make Transition, Make Transition, Make Transition, Make Transition. So now I'm going to create a bool, and this is going to be called door trig. And to go from the close state to the opening state, we need to make sure that door trig is set to true. This will not have exit time. On this second state, we want the door animation to play all the way, and then we want it to go to door open. So we have no conditions, and it does have exit time. However, for this, if you see both of these bars up here, you actually need to drag this in just a little bit till this bar disappears. And then you'll drag this one in, move this one out, release the mouse. And that will get that to snap in place. So let's go ahead and do this real quick. And this one will be set to false. It will not have exit time. So as soon as we hit it, it'll immediately go straight to the door closing cycle. This one does have exit time, so we do that, and do that. This door is done. So let's go back into scene, and then we're going to do the same thing for each one of these. I'm actually going to drag the animator window right here. This way I can easily click. Let's see, something like that, I think. Oops, I meant to grab it right here. And so let's just go ahead and create these real quick. Open. There we go. Now, I know that with this one, I called it door trig, and I named the animations different on every single one of these. However, the parameter I want to keep the same. And the reason why is because I'm just going to call this one door trig, basically, the animator state, or the parameter, shall I say. I'm only going to have to call it one time instead of having to script that an instance every single time. So that'll actually save me some time on that. It'll actually save me a lot of time. But for now, I just need to move in like that, move that, move that, come in here. Oops. And I'm not going to do this with the third one because I want you to see what happens. You'll see these first two real smooth. But then this one, you're going to be like, what the hell's going on here? And actually, wait, did I capitalize trig? I can't remember if I capitalized trig. I did capitalize trig. Awesome. Okay. Move that right there, move that right there, make transition, make transition, make transition, make transition. So I'm just going to add my conditions this time. I'm going to set that to false. And now we get to work on the script. So if you've seen my tutorial videos before, you know I hate that crap in the middle. So what we need is to do a public animator, anim, and I don't think we need a game object, but what we do need to do is start, and we're going to say anim equals anim.getComponent, and the component type we are getting is the animator. We'll go and close that off. And then we're going to say public void open. And we're going to say, or actually let's just call this door trigger. We're going to say if anim.getBool, and the bool name is door trig equals false. Then is what we're going to do is we're going to say anim.setBool door trig, and we're going to set that to true. Else anim.setBool Name of it, door trig, false. So what's going on here is every time this method group is called, it's going to it's basically going to see if it's what state it's in. In this case, if it's in a false state, meaning it's closed, then it's going to set it to true, meaning it will then open. Else, which is the exact opposite of this, so else basically animate anim.getBool door trig equals true, then it will set it to false. So what I need to do is I need to call this script. Now you'll just be able to drop your script in there and do it. So you'll have that made, but you will need to make sure that this is set to public and not private. Cannot stress that enough. Make sure it's public. Public, public, public. So I'm actually have to come in here and I need to come up and create another game object. So I'm going to say public JLW, and this is called door interact. Okay, I'll have to fix that here in just a minute. We'll just call this DI1, DI2, DI3. There we go. And for some odd reason, it is not referencing it properly. So the naming convention's correct. I don't see any errors in here, so I'm going to go ahead and save it and see what is going on inside of Unity. Okay, well, that's not a problem. Let me go back into tutorial. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create another script. This will be called layer interact. You will not need this. I only need this because of the fact that Unity is fighting me. Not a big deal. Let me go ahead and just delete that. I can actually kind of cheat here a little bit by coming in here, selecting this, Control C. I can just paste that in here. Yeah, see, now it's working. And so I can get rid of that in here, and I can come down here, select these two. Once again, you will not need those scripts. I'm only doing that because this does not have the scripts in it, and so I can do that. So let me go ahead and create this so this way I can go ahead and call this to there we go. Okay, so the other thing I need to do is I need to make sure that whatever I'm colliding with, the tag is set as int. I'll wait for that to finish real quick. So I'm going to drop this on here. That way I can come in here. And now I need to actually select all these doors. Well, I need to select all of these. Add the door interact script to it. Then I can come back in here. This will be 7. This will be the try. And this one will be the buy. Now it doesn't matter what order you put these in. I'm just doing it to keep it all uniform. So I know door interact 1 will be the single door. Door interact 2 is the bifolding door. Door interact 3 is the trifold door. And of course I need my text for whenever I come to interact with it. Actually, I don't want to do it like that. I actually want to come in here and add the door interact script to this, and then I'll just drag the cube animator on this, and then I can click back on this and add the door regular up here. The reason why I'm doing that because I don't want these trigger points to move, and that's actually the easiest way to do it. So let's go ahead and type in box collider, and I will need to make sure it's set as trigger, and I'll edit the collider. So anytime I'm within these collider ranges, it should interact. The last thing I need to do is come up here and change this to int. And then I should be able to... oh, wait. I need to do one more thing. So we're going to set this to active, and then I'm going to create a private bool in range, and we'll say in range equals true, in range equals false. And now I need an update method group. I'm going to say if in range, I'm going to say if input dot get key down. This is what we're going to do, is we're going to say di1. Let me think. No, wait. I need keycode.e. There we go. And we're going to say di1 dot door trigger. There it is. So now I can just kind of like copy these. And the only difference is that this will be 2 and this one will be 3. So I'm going to save that. And then whenever I'm in range of any of these and I hit the E key, they will all open. So I come in here. The Ethan script sucks. Press E, nothing is happening, and it looks like I have a reference exception. Okay, so let's see. No animator, that's why. So I just need to come in here, drag the animator on these. And I actually need to come back in here and remove this script from here. No, not edit. Remove component. There we go. So now this should work. Hopefully. Okay. So those are animating like crazy. That one works. So let's go into the animator window and find out why it's doing that. So I'm going to select this one first. Oh, that's why this is the wrong one. Just bring that window out over here. I'm going to select this one first. So this is set to true, and this is set to true. This actually needs to be set to false. That's why that one was doing it. So let's click on this one. This one's set to true. That one's set to false. So I'm going to move this off to the side and see what we got. So now that one should operate just fine. That one operates just fine. Now this one right here is actually looping. Let's see. Oh, that's why. Okay. So what's going on is it's playing closing instead of it being open. So actually I need to delete these and move these in position. Oh, come on. There we go. And then we'll add the condition statement right here, false. So that's all it was. Pretty easy fix. And what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to walk in front of the third one. In fact, let me go ahead and do this. So this way you can see it over here clearly. Okay, so you see that there's a slight pause in it. So it has nothing to do with this. If I press this, it goes right into there, but it ends up playing both of these. So you see the way that looks. Now, if we come in here, that one has exit time. I'm not worried about that, but we're going to move this like so. And then we're going to come in here. That one's fine. Let me go ahead and turn... Oops. There we go. Now watch what happens. See how that's instant and it's nice and smooth? That's the purpose of setting this up. So I'm hoping this tutorial has helped you out, in understanding animation states, setting up the script and all of that. The only difference is inside Scraps you'd basically set it to like a mechanical lever or a pressure plate or something like that. But I hope this helps, and I shall see y'all in the next video.